Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the class of business correspondence and reporting. I see quite there are quite people. Few students have already joined, and I'm sure there are others who are joining in. So, how are you all? I hope and that the previous session was good and was productive enough, and you were clear with the topics that we were doing subject verb agreement was clear to you. Um, Before I begin with today's class is very, very important. Again, I say this every time, but this one is genuinely very important for you guys from your exams point of view. Because usually, if you have actually noticed your previous year's papers, you get questions from direct, indirect speech, and active passive voice, right? This has been the trend mostly, I think. So this is why this class is very important from my exams point of view. The other classes were important for this because of this class, uh, since we had to reach to active passive and direct indirect, and we couldn't have reached to these two topics unless we have actually gone through all uh, the basics and to from the rules of tenses, subject verb agreement. We wouldn't have reached here, and you won't be perfect with your active, passive, and direct, indirect speech if you're not clear with other things, right? So this is why we have to actually cover all the other topics to reach to this thing, right? Uh, and I always say this entire chapter, this chapter and the next chapter is specifically been added to your course so that you are given an idea about the vocabulary and about the grammar. Without vocabulary and grammar, you can't have a good writing skills, right? You cannot write anything if you do not have knowledge of grammar and if you don't have good vocabulary. So you will not even sound interesting. The communication won't be effective. So these two chapters are basically the foundation of this entire subject, I would say. All right. So, okay, let's begin with today's class. Before that, Shraddha had a doubt. Can you please answer this? Either my coat or your, I think it's or not for, or your shoes dash on the always on the floor. Let's see how many of you can answer this. So Shraddha has this question. Let's see how many of you can answer this question. It's going to be good for your revision also. On your screens, I am just putting my whiteboard on. Okay. So the question is, it's from subject verb agreement. Either my coat or your shoes okay, let's see how many of you can answer this. You have to pick from is and are. Think, guys. Think. Let's see how many of you can answer this correctly. Good. Some of you are getting it right. Very good. Very good. Oh my God. I don't know why some people are getting it wrong. Okay. So the answer is are. Now, why are here? If you look at on the page number 2.14 and you look at your rule number 13, if one subject is singular or and the other is plural, the words are connected by the words or, nor, neither, nor, either, or, not only, but also use the verb of the subject that is nearest to the verb. Shoes is not a singular word. Shoes is plural. Okay. So we will be using the plural form of the verb. I told you yesterday also something like pants, scissors, shoes. These are the plural words. These are not the singular words. Because if you see what is common between pants, shoes, and scissors, is that all these three things are complete when there is a pair of something, right? Scissors have pair, right? You always say a pair of scissors. You don't say scissor. No, it's a pair of scissors, right? Pants, they're two parts that are connected together. Similarly, shoes is also in the pair, right? So shoes is plural. That is why we will use plural. All of you, whoever got it right, whoever said are, congratulations, you are clear with your subject verb agreement. Whosoever said is, I know it's a bit confusing, but I've just repeated and I wanted to take this doubt here so that it's clear to everyone. Kanishka, it's okay if you saw shoe, it's shoes. That's okay. If you got it wrong because of the word shoe, then it's fine. Okay. One of my sisters is going. I am so glad, Shraddha, that you're coming up with good examples. Okay. Whenever we say one of my best friends, okay, then one of my sisters and whatever it is in front. Please understand. Remember, I told you about this object of preposition. You do not consider the object of preposition. Okay. So when I say one of my friends is going, okay, one of my friends, I am talking about one friend. Out of my many friends, I'm talking about one friend, right? That one friend is in the focus. I will use is here. Okay, I will use a singular form of verb. Am I clear? One of my sisters, one of my best friends, one of my books is missing. Okay, so whenever you have and please why I like this example was because many people actually get this thing wrong. Whenever you're using a phrase, one of my best friends, one of my friends, one of my books, one of my shoes, one of my clothes, you always use a singular verb because you're talking about the one thing here. Clear? Shraddha, I hope I've cleared your doubts, and I would like to thank you to bring this up because after the class, I was actually thinking about this one example, and I thought that I should have given this to you guys. So this is actually related to the object of prepositions also, right? So never get these two things wrong. So you will come across this quite often, right? So can we move on to the class, today's class now? Are we clear with subject verb agreement? Is there any other doubt? If it is there, please do not send me those doubts right now. We'll take it up towards the end of the class. Now, let's start with tenses. I had already started that yesterday, right? But I think that was in a very hush-hush manner. So let me start this again today. Okay. I think the PPTs have already been uploaded on your apps or your student login IDs from wherever you download. So PPTs are already there. I have already sent the MCQ questions also. I think they are also uploaded by now. So you can go for your practice sessions. There are five questions each from almost like from active, passive, direct, indirect, subject, verb, agreement, direct, indirect, object. And there is one more question that I've added. So you can go and practice, and they've been submitted along with the answers. So at least you get a clarity where you are standing. After today's class, you can go and fill up those MCQs. Okay. Yes. So let's start with tenses. Now, like I just told you yesterday, tenses actually tell you about the time of the action. right? Now, how you actually talk about time. Either you talk about something that has already happened, or you are talking about today or something that is going on, something that isn't present, or you talk about something that will happen. Okay. Maybe you're talking in the morning and something is going to happen at night or maybe tomorrow. So that is future for you guys, right? Past, present, future, right? That is the broader, that is the broad classification of tenses, right? After that, we have underneath all these three, we have four more tenses. Okay, classifications, I would say. So, past, present, future, all are classified into four more forms. That is the simple form, continuous form, perfect, and then you have perfect continuous. Okay. Yes. So these are the four. So that means you have 12 tenses in total, in totality. You have simple past, simple continuous, simple perfect, and simple perfect continuous. Then you have simple present, simple continuous, simple perfect, simple perfect continuous. Then you have futures, simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous, right? Am I clear? Yes. So, if you have actually gone through your study materials already on page number 2.17 and on page number 2.18, there is these quite detailed and with two examples each, you already have the tenses table. Okay, with the examples, and it also tells you about, when do you use which tense. Before that, did you guys do your homework? Did you go through the list of verbs, all wherein you have all the three forms of verbs that I had told you? How many of you have actually taken the time to go through the list of all the three forms of verbs? Come on, tell me. Okay, so there are a few students who have done that. Manish, what is BCK exam? I don't know. And I don't know what you're talking about. No. Okay, so yes, there are a few students who have actually taken out time to do that. Right. Okay. So let's start with the simple past very, very quickly. Okay. Simple past. He ran away. Okay. I watched a horror film last night. Okay, now this is simple past, which that simply tells you about some action that is already over. Okay, this is a simple way of saying it about the simple past. Now, the structure of simple past sentences are that you have a subject, then you have a second form of verb, and then you have object or rest of the sentence. Am I clear? Yes. So simply you should know the second form of the verb, and it only conveys you about things that is already over, right? Now, next comes the continuous. He was running away. He was running away. If I have changed the same sentence into continuous. Now, when I say he was running away, I am talking about an action whose time frame I don't know. I don't know when it was completed. Last I knew was that this was an uncompleted action. He is on the constant run. He's running away, right? So now, what is the sentence structure? Now, in sentence structure, you have subject. Okay. Then you have the auxiliary, which is was or were, either was or were, depending on the singularity and the polarity of the subject. If the subject is singular, you will use was. If the subject is plural, you will use were. Then you have the verb that is joined by ing. Okay. Running, swimming, eating, drinking, right? So the base form of the verb, which is we fun plus ing, right? And then the rest of the sentence, object or predicate or whatever you want to call it. I mean, not predicate exactly, but object. And along with that, the phrases that you want to add, adjective phrase, adverb phrase, whatever you want to add, right? So now this is about the continuous that we have. Now next comes the past perfect. Summer had left the room. Okay. Now in past perfect, the sentence structures are you have a subject, then you have had, right? Had is common for everyone, even if it's a singular subject or plural subject. Then you have the third form of the verb. In this case, left. So if I talk about the left, it is leave as a first form, then left and left as the second and third form. I told you that in many cases, second form of the verb and third form of the verb are same. Right? So Summer had left the room. In past perfect, now when do we use past perfect? We talk about to indicate a completed action of the past that happened before another event took place. Okay. So we're talking about something that had already taken place before, and after that, there's another event that has taken place already. Right. So I am talking about if I had my lunch, right? I had eaten my lunch. That means after, before, when I'm telling you about this statement, after eating of my lunch till my starting of my class, there were many other events also that have gone through, right? They've been started, they are completed also. So I'm talking about the action that completed a long time ago, right? Now, next is the past perfect continuous. Now, if I say the example should be Manish. Now, this will be the mix of past perfect and past continuous, right? So the features, basically, the sentence structure will be almost the combination of both. Manish had been preparing for this dance for 2 weeks. Okay. Now, in the past perfect continuous, right? Now, how do we, structure it? The structure is the subject, which is Manish here, right? Then we add had, because this is past, of course. This is perfect continuous. So we will use been here. Been is a third form. Okay. And the verb plus ing and plus rest of the sentence. Clear? Yes. No matter who the subject is, I, you, he, she, the structure will remain the same. Clear? Now, when do we use it? It is to indicate an action in the past that began before a certain point in the past and continued up until that time. When we talk about some action that went on for a longer period of time. Okay, so Manish had been preparing for this dance for 2 weeks. Like for 2 weeks, he's been preparing continuously. So it started from a certain point of time and it finished until that time. Until that time up, as in like till now. Like when I'm telling you the statement, it went. This action went almost till now, right? Maybe till yesterday or maybe today morning. So the action went on for a quite a long period of time, right? Am I clear? Yes. Okay, let's quickly have a session here on the. Okay, I'm writing two sentences here. You have to tell me which one is it. Is it a simple past, past continuous, past perfect, or past perfect continuous? Okay, with me on your screens, the poet was writing a funny poem. Quickly tell me which one is this. Next is. Quickly tell me which one is this. Guess both. Okay, so perfect. Oh my God, I've got so many responses. Perfect. So this is past continuous and this is past perfect continuous. So we are clear till now. Is there any confusion till past tense? I hope not. Okay, let's start with the present now. Quickly. Now let's talk about the simple present. Why I'm not changing the color of my pens? Right. Okay. So now simple. Simple is simple again. Hina sings a song. Okay, in simple past, we only talk about subject, then the base form of verb, which is V1, and we use the subject verb agreement in the simple present. So if it is a singular for subject, we use S, otherwise, we just use the base form. Okay, the simple present is just like the first rule of the subject verb agreement. Okay, then you have the object here. Now, when do we use simple present tense? Simple present tense is when we talk about habits, when we are talking about something that we generally do. For example, if I say I teach English, right? I teach English means that this is something that I do, right? It's not necessary that I am teaching you at the moment. If I want to tell that I'm teaching you, then this will become present continuous. I am teaching tenses right now, right? Because I'm talking about the action that is taking place right now. But simple present is only about the general truths, habits, universal truths, right? Things that don't change every day, that the things that don't change anything about you, right? So, okay. So, simple present is simple in by all means. Like I just told you about the present continuous. I am teaching. I am teaching tenses. So now this is something that I'm particularly doing right now. I am teaching tenses. So this is present continuous because this is going on right now, right? And the sentence structure is subject, am, is, are, auxiliary, depending on the subject. Since I'm using I as a subject, I'm using am. If it would have been you, then I would have used are. If it would have been he or she, I would have said used is. And if I'm saying so I'm saying the students are studying tenses. So when I'm talking about you guys, uh so the students, I will use are for them. Okay. Yes. So, and with that, verb joined by ing, and then the rest of the sentence. Clear? Yes. This is clear. This should be clear to you guys. Okay, the next is Hina has sung a song. Okay, this is the present perfect right now. This actually tells you about the past action which is not defined by the time of occurrence, or to indicate an action which is started in past and has continued up till now. So this actually talks about, if you look at the sentence, Hina has sung a song, that this was an action that started in past and it just finished right now. Okay. So the sentence structure is subject, has or have. So if it is singular, you use have. It is plural, you use have. Then you have the third form of the verb and so on. Please understand that in perfect, whether it is past perfect, present perfect, future perfect, you always use the third form of the verb, right? In simple present, sorry, in the present perfect, you use has or have. In past, it becomes had. Okay, the past tense of has and have is had. Okay, so when you're making it past tense, you will change this also, right? Okay, next is perfect continuous. Hina has been singing a song. Now this one is subject, again has and have, plus been, plus verb, plus ing form, and the object. Now, if you see in past perfect, we use had been. So in here we use has been. Singing remains singing. The verb with ing also remains the same for all the tenses. Okay, and then the object. Now, where do we use present perfect continuous? We use to indicate an action which started at some point in the past and may or may not be completed. So we are talking about an action that's started in past, but we are not sure if it is over or not. So Hina has been singing a song. That means this action started in past and it is still going on. Okay, the action is not over yet. Clear? Yes. Are we clear about the present tense? Let's quickly start about the future. If past and present is totally clear to you, you can always message me by saying yes. Okay, in future tense. Oh, sorry, we did not do the practice. Let's do a quick practice of present tense. quickly tell me about which one is which tense. Divesh, the first one is correct. Why do you think the next one is present perfect continuous? It is not. Okay, so the first one is present continuous, second is present perfect. Perfect. All right, let's move on to the future. Simple. Ram will visit park tomorrow. Now, here, uh, simple future is used when you're talking about something that will take place and hasn't taken place. This is a very, very simple form of saying it. Okay. Now, sentence structures, you have subject. You can use as auxiliary will or shall depending on the sentence. Will is about when you are very sure about something. Yes. But shall is usually used in terms of offer, suggestion, or obligation. So shall is not very used informally. It is more formal way of using it, but will is used overall. Okay. So, for example, I say, I will attend the meeting. So, I'm talking about myself. But when I say, you shall attend the meeting, that means that I'm suggesting you that it's good that you attend the meeting, which is going to happen, right? So, but when I'm talking about myself, I'm pretty sure that I will be attending, or if somebody else is attending with me, I will say, we will attend the meeting. But when I'm suggesting somebody else, or I am not, I mean, it's a suggestion to other person, I don't know if the person will attend the meeting or not, I will use shall. Okay. So will plus shall, then the first form of the verb, and then the object and the rest of the sentence. Clear? Yes. Okay. Next, which is continuous. Ram Ram shall be visiting park tomorrow. So this is to indicate what will be going on at some time in future, to indicate planned future. So now this is a planned future. I am planning something and I will be using future continuous because I'm planning something for the future. Clear? Yes. Okay. Next is, oh yeah, the sentence structure. You have subject, shall plus will, then you use be, then you use verb plus ing, and then the rest of the sentence. Next is the future perfect. This is going to be a bit confusing, so don't worry. This generally creates a lot of confusion. Okay, so Ram shall have visited park by tomorrow to indicate an action that will be complete before another event takes place. Now, usually don't use these tenses, but it's still there. So Ram shall have visited park by tomorrow. So that means I am talking about that before anything else takes place, this thing will be over. Okay. So maybe we are going for party or something. So by this time, that Ram will go to the park and come back also. Right. So I'm talking about a future planning, and I'm also talking about this thing will be done. So now the sentence structure is subject, shall plus will, whatever you want. Then you have and has, again depending on the sentence. No, it's only have, okay? And then you have the second form of the verb, past participle. Third form. I'm glad, Dharminder, for your efforts. Then you have the third form, because perfect, we always do third form, and then the rest of the sentence. Last comes the future perfect continuous. Ram will have been visiting park tomorrow. So Ram will have been visiting park tomorrow. This is to indicate an action that will have happened for some time and will not be complete yet a certain point in time. Now, this is a bit opposite to what we have discussed. This is about that action that will take place. Akash, we will come on that. Don't worry. I will tell you where to use that also. For some time, I will not be complete yet at a certain point of time. So we're talking about an action that will take place but will not be complete by a certain point of time also. Sentence structure is subject plus shall, will, have, been, verb plus ing. Clear? Okay. Quick. Two examples here, and then I have to start with active passive. Bunty will do the assignment. Sorry. Okay, quick. Which former verbs are these? Prashant, because that is a rule. With will, you use have, not has. Okay, great, everyone. So this is clear to you guys. Yes, this one is simple future and this is future perfect. All right. So let's now concentrate on active passive voice. Now, active passive voice will be helping you quite a lot in your future. Shall we start with active passive voice? Now, what is voice in grammar? voice. Now, voice is basically a category which makes it possible to view the action of a sentence in two ways without the change in facts reported. So, voice actually helps us to look at the action from two perspectives without changing the fact. One voice will focus on who has done the action, and one voice will talk about what has happened rather than who has done it. Okay, am I clear? Yes. So voice basically helps you to, build a relation from two perspective altogether. Clear? Yes. Now I will write two examples here. First you read both the examples, then I will start explaining you. John wrote the letter. Now look at these two sentences and tell me, has the fact changed? John wrote the letter. The letter was written by John. So there are two sentences, right? Do you think anything has changed here? What do you understand from both these sentences? Why I have written a same thing from, two perspectives? Okay. In the first one, our focus. Okay, let's look at the subjects in both the sentence. First, you tell me the subject in the first sentence and the subject in the next sentence. Quick. Good, subject object has been changed. Okay, great. Okay, great, Vedika. So now there is a difference in subject. In the first one, our subject is John. In the next one, our subject is the letter. With that, our focus has been changed. In the first one, we are focusing on who has performed this action. Okay, who is the doer of the action. All right. Whereas here we have the receiver of the action as the subject. This was majorly the object here who has become subject here. Yes. And the doer has become the agent here. Okay. So this is the major change from active to passive. In the first one, our focus is on John, who's a doer of the action. But in the next sentence, our focus is on the receiver, the object. So my main point of view is the letter was written by John. So John becomes the agent here, right? The doer of the action is agent in the second one, and the object becomes the subject here. Clear? Yes. Yes. Now this is the difference between active voice and passive voice. The first one is the active voice and the second one is the passive voice. Clear? Yes. Okay. So you have understood that the doer becomes the agent and the object becomes the subject from active to passive, right? Now we will be trying understanding that what happens to the verbs, how verbs play, right? Now, before I start teaching you about how verbs change from active to passive, how the, within the tenses, how things will change. Please look at this by here, which is very important. This by is added before the agent. Okay, whenever the person who has performed the action, that name comes in the end, we use by, so that we need to tell that this action was performed by him or her. Clear? Yes. Are we clear till here? Do we understand the basics of active passive? Right, I am not expecting you to know the entire thing, but yeah, you know some things about it now. Okay. Now, when do we use active voice and when do we use passive voice? Mm. Voice refers to the connection between subject and the object of a sentence, which is linked through a verb. Obviously, subject and object, they are linked because of the verb, right? So like I just told you, that voice actually builds the connection. So this, when how things change, how object becomes subject and subject becomes the agent. Now, this I have already explained it to you. Now, this is the basic feature of active to passive. In active voice, the subject is doing the action. In passive voice, the action is done on or upon the subject. Active voice, the doer of the action is followed by a verb. In a sentence structure format, the doer of the action, which is the subject, is followed by a verb, right? But in the passive voice, the verb comes before the doer of the action. The receiver of the action is preceded by the verb. The doer of the action is followed by the verb. This one is not doer, this is the receiver here. I don't know how to mark up this. This is the receiver of the action. Okay. Meaning is clear and direct. Passive is meaning can be confusing and indirect. Now, when do we use active and when do we use passive, right? It is always recommended to use active voice because this is more strong, direct, and clear. You know what has happened exactly, right? And it should be preferred also because active voice makes the thing clear, concise, and it kinds of conveys the message more effectively, right? On the other hand, Yashika, I think I've just started with active passive. I would suggest you not to ask me questions that I've not even reached to. I have not reached to imperative sentences yet. When I will reach to imperative sentences, then probably I will tell you how to change from active to passive. The remainder is the same cases with you. Okay. Once I'm done with this topic, then you ask me these questions. Not at the beginning of it, because everybody else will get confused. Okay. So, and why passive is used? Now, passive is used when you maybe sometimes when you want to focus on what has happened more than who did the action. You want to keep the focus on the subject. You want to, basically focus on what was the conclusion rather than what actually happened. Okay. To describe an action, a condition in which act is unknown. So maybe you are going to talk about something that has happened, but you did not know who has done it, right? So you are unaware about who has done this and why did this happen. You just want to focus on what has happened. You will use passive voice. In most newspaper headlines, News and action is more important than the doer. So if you see the headlines of the newspapers, mostly we use passive voice because our focus is to uh, our focus is on something that has already been done rather than who has done it, right? But in a normal day-to-day language, it is always recommended to speak active voice. Am I clear? Yes. Are we clear about the use of active passive? Because and then I'll quickly start with how you change from active to passive. So this I've already explained. I will be explaining you on my whiteboard because that is much more understandable. But I in my PPTs also I have mentioned everything, the examples, how the pronouns change. I will be taking this up and then we will be practicing. So shall we start with the rules of changing from active to passive? Akash, it doesn't matter. You can use will and shall for both. Yeah. Okay. Rule number one. The object of the active voice becomes the subject in the passive voice, which I've already explained it to you, right? So the basic structure of active voice is subject, verb, object. Okay. And in the passive voice, we have object plus verb plus subject. Let me give you a basic statement. Tell me how will you change from active to passive? This sentence. Mm, okay. Yeah. Oh, yes. The tense does not really change from active to passive. How will you change from active to passive this sentence? She reads a novel. Can anybody answer this to me? Try if anybody can. Okay. She, oh no, she. A novel is read by her. A novel is read by her. Okay. So, uh, this is not read. Somebody told me that for read, all the three forms are same. Yes, it is same, but the pronunciation is different. You say read, read, read. So whenever you are reading the word for past tense, you use the word as read, not read. Am I clear? Yes. Okay. So now this is the basic rule, how you change from active to passive. Of course, subject object will differ. Object will come first. For the verb, you will use the be form plus the third form of the verb. You will add by and then the doer here. No, agent here. Okay. Now, what are the three forms of be? Okay, be is the first form of uh, the verb. Second form is was or were, and the third we will use been. Okay, yes, and the present form of the be will be. What is be? All right. Yes. So you can use be as is, am, are for the present tense. For the past tense, you use as was, were, and for the third form, you use been. I am telling you this because this is how I will be explaining these structures in the table ahead now. Now, so this is the base form like this, but now we will be looking at how, according to each tense, the things will change from active to passive. Let's look at the present tense first. Okay. If there is any sentence which is every explanation is there in your study material on the page number 2.20. So I am not going to keep rewriting it again and again. I am just simply picking up an example, and I will start explaining now. Okay. If in the active voice the sentence says, the grocer sells fresh vegetables. Okay, so the grocer sells fresh vegetables. Our subject is the grocer here, the verb is sells here, and the object is fresh vegetables. Now we simply know that the fresh vegetables will become the subject in passive voice. Okay, the grocer will come here and be preceded by the by here, right? Now we are left with cells. Now, how we will be changing from simple present to past tense. Now, because we're talking about vegetables here, so we will use a plural form of be, which is are. Okay, and we will be using the third form of the word sell, which is sold. So this is how we change from active to passive. Fresh vegetables are sold by the grocers. Clear? Yes. The structure are already mentioned in your study material. So you can just keep looking at it, and I will just keep explaining quickly the examples to you. Now, in continuous form, if the sentence is, my boss is giving many assignments. Okay, so the many assignments will come here as the subject. My boss, by my boss, will be the doer here. We are left with is giving. Now, in is giving, this will become, is will remain is. Okay, no, many assignments. So for many assignments, it will become are. Okay, then you have to use being as per the rule. Being. So you will add being here. Then you use a third form, which is given. Many assignments are being given by my boss. The sentence will become, many assignments are being given by my boss. Clear? Yes. Any issues till now? Are you following with me? Okay. Next is good. Okay, there are so many of you are trying. I will be more than glad if you try with me. So this way we can quickly finish this table. Okay, next. Perfect. I have taken him out. Okay. Yes, this is a little trick thing. Okay, so this is along with the tense change. I will also explain you this. Now I have taken him out. Now whom I've actually taken him? Him. So this him will come in front, which becomes the he, because now him I will be using as a subject. So him will change to he. Okay. Then who has taken I? So I will become me because that is coming towards the end of the sentence. This is called the change of pronouns from nominative case to objective case to nominative case. Now the subject is becoming object here. So I will become me. Again, this table is given to you on page number 2.11. Sorry, 2.21. How the pronouns changes. Okay, so him will become he, and this one will I will become me, right? So now it is have taken, right? Now, as per the have, have I used with I. So with he, I will use has. The sentence structure says you have to use has or have. Then you have to add the third form of be, which is been, and the third form of take, which is taken, that is already there. And I will also add out here because out is the indirect thing here. He has been taken out by me. Clear? Have you understood the placing of the things? Yes, right? Okay, next is the past tense. Do you want to take a 5 minutes break so that you can just absorb what has been taught till now and then start again? Where are you guys? Yeah. All right, let's take a 5 minutes break and then we'll start with past tense and then we'll do the future tense. In the meantime, you can just go through what we have just discussed so that you are again geared up for the next session. Okay. All right, let's just quickly start with simple past tense. One of you asked me this question. Where is it? That is him in this question a indirect object? No. If it would have been indirect object, then why would I have made it my principal, my subject? No. Him is the direct object here. All right. Let's quickly start with our simple past. Okay. If the sentence says, he built a large house. Okay, now we automatically means that a large house comes here as a subject. Okay, now this subject will become the agent here. So from subjective case, we will shift to him here. Okay, and we will add by here, right? So we are left with built. Now, how do we change from built? Look at your sentence structure. You will add out of was or were, you will use were here, the second form of be, and then built will remain built, which is already the built is the third form here. Don't think that this is as it is. Built is actually built is also the v3. So v2 v3 both for build word, so we will use it as it is. Am I clear? So the basic ground rule is that the tense doesn't change. Okay, the tense never changes. We have to use a third form of the verb only. Clear? Yes. Okay, the next sentence is she was cooking dinner. Now, dinner by her, she will become by her. Okay, in the middle, look at your sentence structure and tell me what will be the response. In past continuous, you will add was, were, then you will add being, and then you will add the third form of the verb. Now you have to learn these rules. Okay, if it is confusing to you, just learn it or practice it as much as you can, then only you will be able to learn this. Otherwise this will always keep confusing you. Okay, next is the next question is past perfect. So for the past perfect, we had she had posted the letter. She had posted the letter. In this case, the letter comes in front. She becomes, in the end. And had posted. How will you put it? As had been posted. So for the past perfect, our rules is had plus been plus v3. Clear? Yes. Okay. Let's come to future quickly. Future tense. In future tense, if the sentence says, I will give you a present. Present comes first, I goes here. I will become me, right? And a present will come here. Will give. Now, will give will become will be given. Okay. So, will plus be plus a third form of the verb will be given. A present will be given by me. Okay. Okay. Now, we are left with you here. Okay. So, you can add to here will be given to you by me. Okay, as an indirect object. Clear? Yes, you was indirect object, so that will come after the verb only. So will be given to you. You will add the to, okay, and then you will add the verb, sorry, the indirect object will be given to you by me. Clear? Okay. Next is the future perfect. No, future continuous actually. We are left with future continuous. They will be throwing a party. Okay, so a party and they. A party comes here, they will become them here. Okay, now the rule says you have to change, you have to add will. Okay, then you have to write be here, then a being and thrown. A party will be being thrown by them. Okay, confusing again, it's fine, just go through it once. You will hardly use it, for any sentence. Okay, future perfect is last, which says the doctor shall have examined 10 patients. The doctor shall have examined 10 patients. Okay, the 10 patients come in front, the doctor come towards the last. In the middle, we have shall have examined. This will become will have been examined. Okay, yes, clear. Okay, are we clear about the tenses part? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I don't know how it skipped from my mind. So sorry, guys. Okay, look here. We had to start from okay. He built a large house. A large house was built by him. She was cooking dinner. Dinner was being cooked by her. Okay, so this is the rule side by side. Okay. She had posted the letter. The letter had been posted by her. Okay. Yes. Is past clear to you? Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know how this happened. Okay. Are we clear about the past tense? Can I move on to the future part quickly? So simple past is he built a large house. A large house was built by him. Past continuous. She was cooking dinner. Dinner was being cooked by her. Past perfect. She had posted the letter. So this will become the letter had been posted by her. Okay. Now let's move on to the future. I will give you a present. So a present will be given to you by me. Okay. Make sure the indirect object, you place it after the verb only after it becomes from active to passive, and you have to use to also, to you. Okay. And wherever is required. Like in this case, out. I have taken him out. Yeah. Here, to was not required. So we just added out like that. They will be throwing a party. A party will be being thrown by them, which is the future continuous. For the future perfect, the doctor shall have examined 10 patients, will be examined. Okay. Clear, guys? All right. Can we move ahead? Okay. Before I show you my PPT, I would like to just quickly tell you about how you will change the interrogative sentences. And about the pronouns rule, I will show you on my PPT only. Okay, let's discuss about when you have interrogative sentences, how do you change them from active to passive? Okay, if the sentence is, do you light the candles? Do you light the candles? Now, in this case, whenever you have do, does, or did in the active, this will change into is, am, are, is, am, are, was, and were, depending on what is going to be your subject. Now, do you light the candle? Here, the candles will become our, uh, candle will become the subject. So, is the candle lighted by you? Okay, is the candle lighted by you? Right? So this will be followed by a subject, then V3, and then by, and then the agent. This is your sentence structure. Please understand, whenever you're using from active to passive, V3 will remain common no matter what happens. Okay, the verb will change into the third form. Okay, is the candle lighted by you? Okay, take one more example. So it was do. In term, if for do and does, you will change to is, am, are, depending on the, are the candles lighted by you? As yes, yes, yes. So if it would have been candles, then we would have used are here. Are the candles lighted by you? Okay. If the question starts from did, it will change to was or were. So look at the next example and you will tell me the conversion. Did she finish the work? Okay, quickly change this into passive. I've told you the structure, now you can do it by yourself. Okay. Yes, for this one, it would be was work finished by her. Okay. Yes, here I changed it from lighted to lit. It is actually lit, the V3 form. Okay, so just correct if you guys have written it. All right. Now, next coming on to the has have part. If the question starts from has, have, or had, okay, you will change automatically whenever there is has, have, had that is used. There will be a V3 form of the verb for sure. You know this. This is going to be a perfect when we use present perfect or past perfect, right? Here in the passive voice, the structure will be has, have, had, subject plus been plus V3 plus or by plus agent. So I have told you the sentence structure. You will change the sentence from active to passive. Look at the structure and change. Has she done the work? Okay. Now quickly change. Has the work been done by her? Very good. Very good, Vedika. Yes. So the answer will be has. Yes, the has will remain has because it's the work. Okay. Has the work been done by her? Okay, perfect. All right. So next comes the modal. If you're using the modals like, can or may, then how you will change it. So normally in active voice, your question will have a modal verb plus subject plus verb plus object. Okay. A simple form of verb. So if it is, can she play a violin? Okay. Can it is can she play a violin? Yes. Now in the passive voice, you will change it as modal plus subject plus be plus V3 form plus by plus agent. Now quickly change it and tell me how will you change from can she play a violin to this passive voice? Quick, quick, quick. Has doesn't change if you're using has have only. In active voice, if it's just has and have, you will use has and have only in from active to passive. Can a violin be played by her? Very good. Okay, great. So next come on to the rule of if the question starts from who or whom. Okay, if it starts from who, the who will change into by whom. Okay. And if it starts from whom, it will change into who from active to passive. All right. Now let's look at the examples. What I'm trying to say here. Who wrote this book? Okay. Now, how this will change. Now, who will become into by whom? By whom, this will be followed by the auxiliary. In this case, we will use was because this is in simple past. By whom was, then comes the subject. Okay. And then comes our third form of the verb. Clear? Yes. Okay. Because in this question, there is no doer. So there won't be any agent in the question also. Okay. Next is whom did you invite? Whom did you invite? So this will change into who was invited by you. Okay. Yes. Good, Mohawk. Very good. All right. Are we clear about these questions? Okay. Let's quickly look at the PPT. Okay. For the imperative voice, if you have active voice which says learn your lessons, okay, and you're changing from active to passive, you will use you were advised to learn your lessons. Okay. So you will add the words like you were advised to learn your lessons. If it is a command, open the door, you will use the word let. Can you see here? These things, this will be added from active to passive. Let the door, object comes the subject, that let the door be opened. Okay. Now this is the structure, that this is how it will change. Request, please make a cup of tea. You'll say you are requested to make a cup of tea. Okay. Didn't allow anybody to peep inside. You are ordered not to allow anybody to peep inside. Okay. Obligation, love your parents. Your parents should be loved. Okay. So you will be adding these words here. Somebody asked me in the beginning, said, bring in the culprits. Now, bring in the culprits is actually a command, right? So you will change how you will add let, then you will that uh, culprits will come in front, just the way the door. Okay, let the culprits be, you will add be, then bring will change brought, the third form of the verb, and in will remain in. Clear? Whosoever asked me for the bring the culprits in. Okay. So, okay, with this, I think we are mostly done. With the preposition sentences, don't change the sentences, don't change their places. Edward designed these houses in the 1980s. So in the 1980, the prepositional phrase will not change the, places. Transitive verbs can be changed into passive forms, only transitive, not intransitive verbs. Modals can, could, or could do not change. Now, in terms of can, could, should, they will not change from passive to active to passive. Okay, I want you to quickly look at these examples and let's just discuss them quickly and then quickly move on to direct indirect speech. You have to change them from active to passive. Does he help you? I give you 2 minutes to quickly change these sentences. Mohawk, no, you cannot say inside. The words, the prepositions will remain the same. You cannot make into inside. No. Yashika, I don't know what you're asking. Which sentence is this? Okay, can I just quickly tell you the answers if you are already done? Let's start with one by one. Does he help you? Does will become what? Are, because you're going to move you upwards. Are you helped by him? Very good, guys. Yes, very good. Did he do this work? Did he do this work? Was this work done by him? Very good, guys. Okay. Please come here. You're advised to walk slowly. Very good. Let me teach the students. Let the students be taught by me. Please come here. Here you are requested to come here. Someone has stolen my bag. My bag has been stolen by someone. Can he sing this song? Can this song be sung by him? Okay. Were the paintings liked by them in the exhibition? That's how you change from active to passive, Yashika. All right, good to go, guys. You are already pro at it. Let's just move on. We are in short of time, unfortunately now. Now, this is from changing from passive to active. Okay. When you're changing from passive to active, you will, of course, change the entire. You will change the entire rules. Okay. Again, you will pick. Like, for example, reading is enjoyed by Mary. Mary enjoys reading. Okay. That's how you will just change it like that. Okay. I'm sure you would be able to do it from passive to active. So can I move to direct indirect speech now? Are we all clear with active passive voice? Yes. Can we start from direct to indirect speech? Okay, let's start. So direct and indirect speech. Now, what do we understand from direct and indirect speech? Direct speech is when you report or you say the words actually the way it was spoken by the speaker, right? You do not even change the I word. Like, for example, I tell you, I teach tenses, and you say that ma'am said, I teach tenses. That means you are referring and you are quoting me exactly the same. Okay, that is a direct speech. Indirect speech is when, of course, you change them and you don't quote the exact words. Okay, so you just change. So the I will become a change, and the tenses would change a little bit inside, and that's how you report the things. Okay. So, to convey the exact words of the okay, if you want the answers from passive to active, I recommend you that why don't you try this today, and tomorrow before I start with vocabulary chapter, for first 10 minutes I will discuss the answers. Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. So, when do we use direct speech? When you want to convey the exact words of the speaker to supplement and clarify the information that is being reported. You want to insert, when there are eyewitness accounts in news stories. Whenever there's a news story, okay, whenever there's some news report, and when somebody is somebody's interview has been taken, somebody's words have been taken, who was there at the site, who was the eyewitness of the account, their words are actually being quoted, right? You insert dialogues in the narratives when you're writing something, probably a fiction, so this makes your narrative interesting. Or you are reporting somebody, when you're reporting speeches, so you take the notes of speakers messages, right? And then again you want to quote them as it is. You don't want to change anything to what they said. You don't want to lose the meaning in your own words. You just want to convey exactly what the speaker said, so you use the direct speech. Scripts or the plays and films, direct speech. All the plays, scripts, these are all written in the okay, you use a direct speech. Now, when do you use indirect speech? When it is impossible to convey the direct conversation that happened with somebody. You want to avoid the lengthy and the confusing part, right? Of course, nobody can remember the word to word exact things. Also, if you had a long conversation with someone, you just cannot remember everything. So you break down into, you start using indirect speech to avoid the lengthy conversation, and you want to bring in the clarity and preciseness to the reporting. And also you want to just convey something unofficially amongst your colleagues maybe at your place, so you use indirect speech. And generally, reports or speeches during annual greeting meetings and other meetings are noted in indirect speech. Okay. Newspaper reports uses indirect speech format most of the time. Clear? Yes, this was just the theoretical part of it. We will be quickly discussing the features of direct and indirect speech and how you change it. All right. So, sharing my screen once again. Okay. I very well have a PPT here, why to write down here. Okay, look at the first example. I have cut my finger, cried Mrs. Sharma. Okay. So, the first thing that you need to notice is the quotation marks. Do you see the dialogue? The word said by Mrs. Sharma is in the quotes. Can you see these quotes here? Yes. Yes. So these are the quotation marks or inverted commas. So direct speech, when you are quoting somebody as it is, you always use the inverted commas. Okay. These inverted commas are not used in indirect or reported speech. You never use quotation marks in indirect speech. So now if you want to, report this in the indirect speech, how will you say? Mrs. Sharma cried that. You add the word that here after the verb, after the reporting verb. What is cried here? Cried is a reporting verb here. Cried is a reporting verb. So Mrs. Sharma cried that she had cut her finger. Now I will become she. Okay. And have will become had. Cut remains the cut and my finger. Now, please remember whenever the reporting verb is in past tense, whatever tense has been used in the quotation marks, it will translate into the past tense of the corresponding tense. Now, what does that mean? If the word said in the quotation marks in simple present, that will become simple past. If they are in present continuous, they will become past continuous. If it is in present perfect, it will become past perfect. In this case, this was in present perfect. Have plus third form of the verb. This will just change into past perfect. Clear? This is not very difficult to understand. If this is only if the reporting verb is in the past tense. Clear? Yes. And see, we have added that here, okay, and we have changed I to she, and the tense has been changed from present perfect to past perfect, and then we are good to go. Clear? Yes. Exclamation mark and quotation marks, these things are not used in reported speech because you're saying them in your own words. Clear? Yes. Now let's look at the question when you're reporting a question. Is it bleeding very much? Mr. Sharma asked. Okay, so is it bleeding very much? This is a question. So how will we say? Mr. Sharma asked. If it was bleeding very much, you will add if here. Okay, when you if or whether any of the words that fits in here, if it was, now it will become here, and is will become was here, like I just said, corresponding words. Yes, it was present continuous, this will become present past continuous. Now if it was bleeding very much. Am I clear? Yes. Now, we have not used that here because we have used if here. Mr. Sharma asked that if this would have looked awkward. Otherwise, we 90% of the cases we used that. Clear? Yes. Okay. Now look at the pronouns. The pronouns also change. Like I will become he. Yes, depending on who the person is. He said, I am bored. He said that he was bored, right? We are going to the movies. Meera said, we will become they. We will become they. I will become he. Yeah. We are going will become we were going to the movies. Am I clear? Yes. Let's look at the second pronouns, second person now. He said to her, you are beautiful. Yes. He said to her that she was beautiful. Okay. You must write neatly, the teacher told her pupil. The teacher advised. Now, whenever you know it is an advice, or you can use different kinds of reporting verbs. You can use advise, you can use told, ask, said, okay, requested. You can have different to convey a better meaning. So this is an advice, you must write neatly. So if you use the word advise, this will convey a perfect meaning. The teacher advised her pupils that they must write neatly. I will become they here. Okay. Must will not change. There are few modal verbs that do not change. Must is one of them. Whenever there is a use of must, that will not change. Clear? Use of third person. I said they have gone out. I informed. Now see another reporting verb. I informed that they had gone out. Right? Now they will not change. Of course, right? That is already in third form, so this cannot change. Leela said these books are theirs. Leela said that these will become those. Those books were theirs. Clear? Yes. I hope you're finding this easy in comparison to other topics. Let me just look at your queries. Okay, are we clear till here? Are you guys following me? Yes. Can I move on? This I've already explained to you this slide that you have different kinds of reporting verbs: asked, inquired, commanded, ordered, requested, advised, suggested, exclaimed, shouted. So when you use different reporting verbs according to the tone of a dialogue or reported speech, this actually makes your writing very interesting. Okay, so you can use these different words. Like, just look at this expression. Ramesh said how hot the soup is. Now, this is an expression, exaggerated expression. So we will say, Ramesh exclaimed, Ramesh exclaimed that the soup was hot. Okay. Yes, you will remove how, you will remove the exclamatory mark. The soup will come in front and was hot. Okay. Stir it with a spoon, his sister said. His sister advised him to stir it with a spoon. Now, there's nothing to change here, stir it with a spoon. So we will not really change it. We will just add to here. Clear? Okay. This shouldn't be very difficult for you guys to understand now that you understand tenses and how to change them. This is the most easy part in the direct indirect speech. You are just changing from simple present to simple past, present continuous to past continuous, perfect to past perfect, present perfect to past perfect continuous, simple past to past perfect. So corresponding basically, okay? Until future. Now, he said he is a cricket player. He said that he was a cricket player. I said Priya is going to Pune. I said that Priya was going to Pune. Azhar said it is raining. Okay, it has been raining. Ria said Rohan has been at work, has been working. Ria said Rohan has been working. Okay. Ria said that Rohan had been working. Clear? My mother arrived on Monday. He told me that his mother had arrived on Monday. Now, this is one exception. Simple past will change to past perfect because simple past cannot change to anything else. So, simple past changes into past perfect. Okay. Past perfect remains past perfect only. This is another exception here. He explained the bread has gone stale. He explained that the bread had gone stale. Had gone stale. Clear? Past perfect continuous remains past perfect continuous again. We were living in London. Sia told me that they had been living in London. Right? Okay, future, I don't want to confuse you right now. Future can be taken up a bit later on because future will confuse you. Okay, I will be stretching the class for 10-15 minutes if you guys have no issues. If you look at the page number 2.27, future changes to present conditionals. I will be in Geneva on Monday. He said that he would be in Geneva on Monday. Now, will become would. Somebody asked me, where do we use would? Yes. Okay. So he said that he would be in Geneva on Monday. Okay. Future continuous changes to conditional continuous. She said, I will be using the car next Friday. She said that she would be using the car next Friday. Okay, let's look at this. I'm going to explain you here present perfect. The present perfect changes to past perfect. I hope you've understood this. Okay, so the example is, he said he has reached office. He has reached his he has reached office. So this is the present perfect. Now, also this, again, notice this thing, within the quotes you always start from a capital letter and you end with a full stop or any exclamatory mark, punctuation, question mark, exclamatory, anything as per the statement, but you always start from a capital letter and end with a punctuation mark. Okay, now this will simply say, you have to change this to present perfect, past perfect. He said that he had reached, he had reached office. Okay, the has will become had simply. Okay, now instead of said, you can also use he informed me. Yes, great, very good. All right, now change from past, simple past to past perfect. Simple past. Um, okay, she said, I bought books from the store. This is simple past. This will change to past perfect. How will you change? She said that she had bought books from the store. Simple. Clear? Yes. Okay, I hope you are noticing the comma part here, quotation mark here, the punctuation mark, and the quotation mark closes on the capital letter, right? Do not get this thing wrong. Past perfect will remain past perfect. Past continuous will remain past perfect. Perfect continuous. No, past continuous changes to past perfect. The only thing that changes is the pronoun part. Do not forget to not change the pronoun part. Even if the tense doesn't change, the pronouns will change. Clear? Yes. Okay, who is going to change this for me? My teacher said she will take a surprise test next week. Okay, perfect. Let's start. The teacher said she will take a surprise test next week. Single inverted comma. We don't use, I mean, you can use double inverted, but now we use single only. Both are correct. Okay, the teacher said that she will become would take a surprise test. Now, the next week will become the following week when you change from direct to indirect. Now, this table is given on the page number 2.27. So basically the here will become there. Good Kanishka, good Akanksha, good Priyanka, very good guys. If you guys knew this, the next week will become following week. So yesterday becomes the day before, tomorrow becomes the next day, next week becomes the following week, next month becomes the following month, and now becomes the then. Okay, so these words you have to remember. Ago becomes before. So these are few words that you should know that this will change. Okay. Now comes the exception parts when you will not change anything, when you will not change the tense of the direct speech words. If reported speech contains a universal or scientific truth, the tense of the verb does not change even if the reporting verb is in past tense. Okay. He said honesty is the best policy. Now, this is something that doesn't change, right? So you will use it as it is. When you are talking about the scientific truth, again, that thing will come as it is. Nothing will change. You will just remove the quotation marks. You will add that, and then you're good to go. Okay. Next is if the reporting verb is in present tense. Look here. He says, I like pizza. He says, I like pizza. Okay. Now, the tense of this reported in this direct speech will not change. You will just simply change the pronoun. He says that he likes pizza. This will not become liked or something else. Clear? Yes. So whenever you have to notice your reporting verb here. If it is present tense, nothing changes. Clear? Yes. Okay. Now let's go back to our PPT. Interrogative sentences. In interrogative sentences, basic rules, comma, inverted commas will be removed. Conjunction that will not be used in indirect statement. So in the interrogative sentences, that will not be used. Instead, we use if and whether. I told you, if or whether. We don't use that when we are changing interrogative sentences to imported speech. Interrogative sentences will change to assertive sentences, which is declarative sentence. A reported verb like said, tell will be replaced by asked, ask, inquired. Okay, demanded, inquired, because you are questioning somebody, so you will not say said, you will say asked. Okay, now Paula said, what time does the bus come? Paula asked what time the bus came. Okay, the tense will change. The bus come will become came. Yes, but besides okay, besides that, if or whether, nothing has to be used here. Sarah said, does the show begin? Sarah asked when the show began. In this case, we don't need to use if or whether. These are different questions. Okay, so we just simply change the tense. That's it. Am I clear? Yes. Right. Okay, in terms of modals, can will become could will remain could, must into must, had to, these things remain the same, or you can change from must to had to. I must go to the bank and get some money. She said she must go to the bank and get some money. He could play in the match. They said he could play in the match. I can speak English. She said she could speak English. Clear? May will become change into might. I may invite them to dinner. She said she might invite them to dinner. Okay, nothing else changes. It's only these words that changes. Might remains might. He might get a flight tomorrow. She said he might get a flight the next day. Tomorrow becomes next day. Notice here. Okay. Should remains should. Direct speech. I should start a job. She said she should start a job. Please, I'm repeating this again. Pronoun is very important. That will change for sure wherever required. Wherever we are not talking about third object or third person. Am I clear? Yes. Okay, look at the words indicating the distance and time. This will become that, these will become those, here will become there, now, then, today, that day, tomorrow, next day. We have already discussed. Are you guys following with me? Is it clear? Is there any problems that you guys have? Any problem? Are you clear till here? Are you able to follow direct, indirect speech? Okay, what we'll do right now is that I will be clear, I will be explaining the concepts right now. We will again tomorrow, I think it will just take 10 minutes. Before I start vocabulary, we'll have a quick revision section. I'll prepare the exercise and we'll quickly discuss the how things are. So just let me make you understand the concepts here for now. Tomorrow I have two consecutive sessions with you. So 11 to 1 and 2 to 4. And that is when we can talk about this also for 10 minutes. Let's talk about imperative sentences. In imperative sentences, understand the mood of a sentence, whether it's a command, advice, or request. Based on that, you can use a reporting verb. Okay, requested, advised, commanded, suggested. Father said to his son, bring me your result card. Father ordered his son to bring his result card. Okay, you will add to and then the entire sentence follows. Clear? Okay, yes. Okay, let's look at another imperative sentence. Okay, I'm picking an example from your book only. The master said to the servant, finish the work at once. So which reporting verb will be used here? Which reporting verb? Will it be used requested, advised, commanded, suggested, ordered? What do you think we will use here? The master ordered the servant to finish the work on time. Rest remains the same. Okay. And here the master ordered the servant. Okay. Yes. Last comes the exclamatory part, and then we are done with the concepts at least. Exclamatory sentence. The words, the sounds used by speaker to express an emotion is omitted. So if there is any word or things that are used, wow, hello, we don't use that from, direct to indirect speech. Wow, what a handsome man he is, the girl said. The girls exclaimed, what a handsome man he was. Is will become was. I will, Swarnika, don't worry. My friend my friend said to me, how are you? My friend greeted me and asked how I was. Okay. So I think these things will just require a little bit of practice, and that we can do tomorrow in initial 10-15 minutes. Okay. Besides that, I hope the concepts were at least clear to you. We'll have this practice session, this one. We will be doing this slide tomorrow, and then things will be pretty much clear to you. But in comparison to other topics, I feel that indirect speech is little easier, because there is, you just need to know how to change the pronouns, and where to, which tends to be used, and which appropriate reporting verb you should be using, right? And besides that, this is quite easy. But why this is important is that, in later stage, when you are reporting something and you want to convey somebody's words to somebody else, you should know how you should convey, right? You should be able to frame your reported speech sentences correctly, so that the meaning doesn't get lost. Okay. So that you are able to grasp the meaning or the essence of whatever you are talking, and you're able to convey it in a best of the manner, right? All right. So we will continue for 10-15 minutes tomorrow initially, and then we will start with our vocabulary chapter. I hope the concepts were clear to you, whatever was taught to you. I suggest you to please go through your study material, go through the the PPTs uploaded. I think the MCQs are also there. You can attempt some practice questions there. So pick the papers from previous years, look at the questions, see if you are able to follow them, if you are able to solve those questions. You still have some time with me, so in case there's some problem and you're not able to sort out those questions, you're not able to answer the previous year's questions, you can always ask me, right? And pick any 2-3 years papers, and quickly after this class, or maybe whenever you get time, you have enough time till tomorrow to solve at least 4-5 questions from previous years, right? You will be able to see where you are standing, what concepts are clear to you, what is not clear to you, and then you can of course always ask me, you can come back to me, you still have some sessions with me, right? So let me know if today's class was good to you, and your problems were sorted, you've got everything. Prashant, I don't get your question. Yes, I think you can have more than one answer. Yeah. As far as if it is grammatically correct and if it doesn't changes the meaning, yes, you can have. Okay. Anything else that you would like to say to me before I end the class? You still have 2 minutes to go, and then I will stop the class at 4:15. Are you clear with active passive? Are you clear with tenses? Are you clear with direct indirect speech? Do fill the feedback form if you guys get time. Okay, so I don't see anybody sending any query. So I am assuming that you have understood the topics today. Okay, bye. I'll see you tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Everybody be ready with your study material and with your practice questions, your doubts, your queries, and we will start tomorrow at 11, sharp at 11. All right, bye. Have a great day ahead.